that reads, in addition to those exceptions identified above, ... Why didn't you have a...
No.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, again, we're in the middle of page 5, proposed rule, page 5. In addition to those exceptions identified above.
Oh, this is another dying line.
Rob?
Rob Hernandez here. Maybe Mindy or Peg can explain this, but we're hearing from numerous families and advocates that APS is saying that individuals don't have the capacity to make their own legal decisions, so therefore they need some type of assistance, or they should be APS clients as a result. But as I'm reading this, so wouldn't that same narrative that we're hearing from various counties all over the state tell us the same thing? So if an IDD client who probably has the cognitive abilities of a 10-year-old says, I want to die, I mean, then who makes that decision? So if it's not self-neglect, but if APS is involved, from what I'm hearing, you see where I'm getting, you see what I'm getting at? Is if we're hearing they're saying that they don't have the capacity to designate even an ARC advocate, we've heard that. So how would this not be considered self-neglect? Help me understand that, Peg or Mindy.
Oh, good question. This is Peg. So the APS statute has always ensured that people that are using advanced directives and are implementing advanced directives, that a care provider that is following those advanced directives would not be guilty of caretaker neglect, and that if you're following an advanced directive, you're not self-neglecting. The medical aid in dying law was passed by the voters, and whether you agree or disagree with the law, it is a form of advanced directive. So it's being added to these definitions to ensure that a caretaker is not going to be looked at as far as being a perpetrator of caretaker neglect if someone has chosen to implement the medical aid in dying right that they now have under law. This is not to say that APS would do this. It's not to say that APS agrees with this. This is just a new advanced directive that's been passed, and we need to recognize that and go. Right. And the law does. So Maureen, going back to your original question with this, that law is very specific about how it's implemented. And, you know, you have to have capacity to make decisions. You have to have a second opinion. There are many steps in that in order to make that happen.
Okay. Maureen?
Well, so you're saying that APS will respect an advance directive from a client or their family that's properly executed if they have guardianship over that individual?
Yes, if there is an advance directive that was...
What about a medical
executed.
power of attorney? Would that be respected by APS under a guardianship?
It's not part of this rule, but it's in here. It's an advance directive.
Okay.
So that's not a change.
It's
It's not a change, but I think that's a big assumption to say that the advance directive will be respected, because I know of a case right now where there's a power of attorney and it's not being respected by APS. So that's really, it can be in the print, but what I'm hearing from people in the community is different. And that's very concerning to me that APS is making an interpretation and ignoring properly executed documentation of people's desires.
Mark?
Yeah, I'll just respond to that, Maureen. That sounds like an individual case that you might want to follow up with Lisa about.
Right, but it relates to this rule, however.
Yeah.
Respecting power of attorneys and respecting advance directives. You're saying in this rule that that would apply with the additional new laws around the medical aid in dying. That's what I understood from Peg's comment, correct? Okay, I just wanted that on the record.
And so, this is Mindy again, if you have a specific concern about a case, I want you to know that as a department, we take our role as oversight very seriously, and so we do encourage you to contact me directly, contact Lisa, if you have information about, and that goes on the phone as well, if you have information about an APS case that you're concerned about, that you have questions about, you can report that to us. We will look into it. Because of confidentiality, we cannot get back to you and provide, details of that case or that, anything like that. But if you provide that information to us, then we can then.
The level of fear in the community is not, that's not gonna happen with the level of fear in the community, I'll just be honest with you. But anyway, I don't wanna take any more time
I
out.
thank Mindy for making that offer, because there probably would be some families who would want to come forward to you about this issue that are related to this by having their medical power of attorney basically sort of negated, but to Maureen's point, some of them feel that there's going to be retaliation if they come to you by their county APS. So I do know of several families that would like to come forward to you to talk to you, maybe face to face, about specifically what's going on by the perception that they have of overreach in their particular county. So I guess maybe how that would be facilitated by you. And of course, if I report it or Maureen reports it, it's only secondhand. But if you're hearing directly from the families, then of course it would be a firsthand observation and including what's going on. So would you be willing to do that? Because that might make some families feel more comfortable.
Yeah, anyone that wants to come and talk with us about specific concern,
Okay.
we're open to meeting with them.
Okay.